before the private jets, before the sold-out festivals, before the hundreds of millions of dollars. Calvin Harris was working at a fish factory in Scotland. Cold mornings, minimum wage, and a dream almost nobody believed in. Record labels rejected him for years. Today, he's one of the richest and most successful producers in music history. But the road to the top was far darker and far harder than most people realize. This is the untold story of Calvin Harris. Dumfries, Scotland. A small working-class town far away from the glamour of the music industry. This is where Adam Richard Wiles, the future Calvin Harris, grew up. As a teenager, Adam became completely obsessed with music. He spent hours alone in his bedroom, teaching himself how to produce electronic tracks on a basic computer. No expensive studio, no industry connections, no famous mentors, just curiosity and obsession. But there was one major problem. Nobody was looking for music producers from a tiny Scottish town. This wasn't London. It wasn't Los Angeles. And it definitely wasn't Ibiza. The odds of someone like Adam making it into the music industry were almost zero. But he believed something simple. If the music was good enough, eventually the world would have to listen. Before the fame, Adam worked jobs he hated just to survive. At one point, he worked in a fish processing factory. Long shifts, freezing temperatures, repetitive work for minimum wage. And after those exhausting days, he would go home, sit in front of his computer, and make music until late at night. He also worked stocking shelves in a supermarket. 2 jobs, no recognition, almost no money. But every free moment went into producing tracks and sending demos to record labels. And almost every response was the same. No. No interest. No deal. No future. For years, the music industry ignored him completely. Most people would have stopped trying. Adam kept going. Then the internet changed his life. In the mid-2000s, Adam started uploading music to MySpace, the biggest online music platform at the time. And slowly, people started paying attention. One person shared a track, then another, then thousands more. Without a label, without marketing, without industry support. His music began spreading across the internet completely on its own. For the first time, people inside the music industry realized something important. This unknown producer from Scotland was making hits. The same record labels that ignored him for years suddenly wanted meetings. After years of rejection, Calvin Harris was finally getting his chance. In 2007, Calvin Harris released his debut album, I Created Disco. The sound felt fresh, different, and impossible to ignore. But that was only the beginning. 2 years later, his second album, Ready for the Weekend, debuted at #1 in the UK. Now Calvin Harris wasn't just becoming successful, he was becoming unavoidable. Then came the next evolution of his career. Instead of only making music for himself, Calvin started producing for some of the biggest artists on earth. Rihanna, Ellie Goulding, Dua Lipa. Song after song became a global hit. Streaming exploded. Festival crowds became larger. The money became unbelievable. Quietly, Calvin Harris had transformed himself from an unknown producer into one of the most powerful names in modern music. The numbers were staggering. For years, Calvin Harris was consistently ranked among the highest-paid DJs in the world. In some years, his earnings reached tens of millions of dollars annually. The teenager once packing fish for minimum wage had built a fortune worth hundreds of millions. Luxury homes, private jets, massive festival contracts. From the outside, it looked like the perfect success story. But fame creates pressure most people never see. Because when the world expects hit after hit after hit, slowing down no longer feels possible. And despite the fame, Calvin Harris remained surprisingly private. Unlike many celebrities, he rarely revealed much about his personal life. Few interviews, few emotional speeches, very little explanation. He preferred letting the music speak for him. People who worked with him described someone intensely focused and perfectionistic. A producer obsessed with details. Someone capable of spending endless hours trying to perfect a single sound. And maybe that obsession explains everything. It was the same obsession that carried him through rejection, failure, and years of being ignored. The same obsession that turned a teenager from a small Scottish town into one of the most successful producers the music industry has ever seen. From a fish factory in Scotland to the top of global music, Calvin Harris proved something powerful. Talent matters. But persistence matters even more. Because success usually belongs to the people who keep going long after everyone else quits. The world told Adam Wiles he had no future in music. He answered by changing the industry forever. If this story inspired you, subscribe for more untold stories about the legends of music. The next one might surprise you even more.